Hey guys, this is Spartacus here, and Season 3 is now live in Call of Duty Vanguard, and I'm actually recording this the day prior because the update to Call of Duty Vanguard allow us to actually play on the new multiplayer map Mayhem and even try out the new weapons in a private match before the season actually went live. So I went ahead and recorded some private match gameplay of the map Mayhem and of course the two new weapons, the Nikita AVT assault rifle and the M1916 Marksman rifle, and then of course I will be talking a little bit about the trophy system near the end of this video, but let's go ahead and start talking about the new Mayhem Multiplayer Map. If you couldn't tell already, the Mayhem Multiplayer Map takes place on a movie set, and you're pretty much just running around this city that's like a lot miniature in scale, and so it kind of resembles the whole King Kong and Godzilla monster theme we have going on within this season, and so I thought it was a really good idea making this a multiplayer map. And if you actually look outside the movie set, you can see a monster costume up in display, and I think it's really funny how they even added something like that for you to actually see outside the map. You can't interact with it at all whatsoever, at least not as far as I'm aware of, but I think it's cool nonetheless how you're able to actually see what the monster costume is on the movie set that they're supposedly supposed to film on this multiplayer map. But either way, this movie set is located in a warehouse, and the warehouse does have like an open rooftop, so you can always use air kill streaks like the ball turns gunner and strafing run to actually take out enemies from above, which I think is a really good idea for them to add in. But also, this is a very small map. It may be bigger, actually might be smaller than Shipment, or maybe the same size, if not a little bit bigger. I don't know. It's pretty close to the Shipment size, but the style and lanes of the map are 3-lane style maps, which is of course a good thing. I like 3-lane style maps, but it's going to be a small map, going to be a lot of close quarters engagement. It's probably going to be having its own dedicated 24/7 playlist like we see within Shipment and DOS House, and I wouldn't be surprised if they threw this map in the mix because of how small it's going to be, especially when we have the different combat pacing options like blitz pacing. How many players are going to be able to be on this map on blitz pacing? I'm really curious how that's going to actually play out, but I do like how it's 3-lane style. It's really easy to figure your way around. I like how there's a portion of the map where there's kind of like a bridge that's been blown up and you can like jump onto the other part of the bridge to have like a different line of sight in either direction. I don't know, that's kind of like a small portion of the map that I noticed that really stood out to me. And then there's also like the buildings that you see in kind of the center of the map. They can actually be destructible, kind of like some of the destructible barriers we see within other multiplayer maps, and they seem like they're kind of like in the corner of like certain angles when you're looking in the center of the map, and so I don't actually know how beneficial it is to like not break those covers if you really wanted to, but then again, I was playing in a private match, so I didn't actually really test out all of like the different areas you can actually shoot and break destructible cover or whatever the case may be. Either way, that's just something I noticed that was like kind of a small detail on the map, and yeah, honestly, I think this map is going to be pretty chaotic. It's going to be introducing a lot of mayhem, that's for sure, but let's also go ahead and talk about some of the new weapons that are going to be added at the start of Season 1. So the first one is the Nikita AVT assault rifle, and it's fully automatic, and it has an extremely fast fire rate. I believe Sledgehammer Games said in their blog post that this actually has the fastest fire rate out of any assault rifle in the game right now, and so you're going to definitely notice how fast the fire rate is. The recoil is a little bit hard to control. Now keep in mind, I didn't use any attachments when recording this gameplay. I wanted to see how this gun felt by default, and I can definitely tell you right now, you're going to be treating this gun like an SMG. Do not treat it like any medium to long range or anything like that. I noticed that when I was trying to tap fire a bot from like a medium range distance, I was getting a load of hit markers, and since I didn't have any attachments that would increase my effective damage range, you know, this thing is definitely more SMG like, and I think that's where it really shines. We'll have to, I didn't actually really look through the attachments either to see like what was available for them, but nonetheless though, this gun definitely shines a lot more at close quarters range than medium range, so definitely treat it like an SMG when you have it available to you. The other weapon that came out at the start of Season 3 is the M1916 Marksman rifle. This is the first DLC Marksman rifle we have within Vanguard, and this gun is really good, you guys. Initially when we first heard about this weapon and how Sledgehammer Games described it, it was going to be semi-automatic, it's going to be a 2-shot kill anywhere on the body, and it will give a 1-shot kill to the head. However, I heard that if you maximize all of the vital damage attachments on this weapon, you still can't get a 1-shot kill to the head, so not really sure what that's all about, but 2-shot kills is pretty good nonetheless, and it does have 20 20 rounds by default, which I think is pretty good. I can definitely see them reducing that to 15, maybe 12 rounds, just because of how good the fire rate actually is for a 2-shot kill weapon. And I felt like the recoil by default was pretty manageable as well. I didn't really take out any enemies at longer ranges, but close range, this thing is definitely a beast, and I definitely recommend running this thing whenever you get it unlocked in the battle pass. But the one thing I noticed right away using this Marksman rifle was the iron sights. It was a very odd looking iron sights, and I think it definitely helps at close quarters range, but for a Marksman rifle, you're going to want to try and use it at longer ranges, and you're definitely going to want to slap some sort of optic on there that's going to help getting those long shot kills. Like, this iron sights is just not going to cut it at all whatsoever. So that is probably the one downside about this weapon, is probably the iron sights. And of course I was going up against bots, so it wasn't too hard to like stay on target and take them out easily. But nonetheless, this gun is extremely powerful. I can definitely see it receiving nerf in the future. I don't know why they made it a 2-shot kill. I feel like it would be good as a 3-shot kill anyway, but I mean, I'm not complaining, I suppose. I think it's going to be a very, very handy weapon, especially in the Marksman rifle category, because there are like some Marksman rifles that are really good. Like the G43 is by far my favorite one to use. The SVT I just think is really gross and ugly. This is like a better version of the SVT, honestly, because the SVT by default had really high recoil every time you shot the weapon, but when you shoot this gun, the recoil just seems so manageable. So I'm afraid that they are going to increase the recoil a lot in the near future, just because of how powerful I think this is going to be at launch of Season 3, but I guess only time will tell. Like I said, I'm only playing up against bots. I had no attachments on this thing, so we'll have to see how much better it actually gets with attachments. Same with the Nikita AVT. I wasn't using attachments on that thing as well, and I thought it was pretty good as a close range weapon, so it's going to be crazy seeing how well these weapons are actually going to perform once you slap attachments on them. And then I'm curious how they're going to perform in Warzone. The M1916, I can't really see people using that too much in Warzone. People seem to lean towards fully auto weapons when playing that game, but the Nikita AVT, I could definitely see people treat that more as an SMG in Warzone. I could definitely see how it can be dominant over in that game, but I guess only time will tell, and we'll have to wait and see how they actually play out. The last form of content I want to cover for Season 3 for Vanguard's multiplayer is actually the trophy system. You could use this in a private match prior to the season actually being launched, and I've noticed that it does have a fast recharge rate, which I suppose is a good thing because grenade spam is really annoying in this game. And what's interesting, compared to the last couple Call of Duty games that we've had, like compared to Modern Warfare or even Black Ops Cold War's trophy system, that anytime you try to throw the trophy system, you are literally like throwing it in front of you. Like, you're using all your like strength to actually throw it in front of you and throw it as far as you possibly can. But I noticed the trophy system here within Vanguard, that your operator just places it like in front of you. They don't actually throw the actual device, which I think is kind of interesting. And I know it's not really realistic to have a trophy system in a World War II game, but honestly, the grenade spam is extremely annoying, and it used to be a lot worse when the incendiary grenade got introduced to the game. And so I think it's long overdue to have this trophy system. Thank God that we finally do have it. But one thing I like to mention, and this can cause a lot of confusion prior to Season 3 actually being out, but it turns out that Sledgehammer Games, in their blog post, they said that everybody was going to have immediate access to the trophy system, and there was no certain tier required to unlock it in the battle pass, which was awesome to hear. But then when the update kind of rolled out in Vanguard, showing that you can like use this item and what you need to do to actually earn it in multiplayer, there was a challenge slapped to it, and you actually had to complete 15 different matches without dying by a single grenade, which is completely absurd. One of the most absurd challenges that we ever had in-game for Call of Duty, especially to unlock an item like the trophy system itself. Completely ridiculous, but it turns out that Sledgehammer Games did actually tweet out saying that during the launch of Season 3, so at 9 a.m. Pacific time, the same time this video is going to actually go live, that there is going to be no challenge completion required for the trophy system field upgrade. So everyone will actually have access to it as soon as the season starts. Now, I don't know if they put that challenge there as like a placeholder so nobody could actually use it in the actual multiplayer matches prior to Season 3. It's possible it was just a placeholder like sort of challenge because they know a lot of people wouldn't go for it or something like that. Or maybe they actually did have the intent of doing so. I mean, if it was just going to be a placeholder, I feel like they would have just like not have the challenge shown there whatsoever. They could have just kept the item locked. Honestly, I don't fucking know, you guys. It's just a little weird to me how in the blog post they told everyone that that they're going to have access to it immediately. Then we go into game and we see that there's a challenge that's a completely ridiculous challenge, keep in mind, that we actually have to do to unlock it. And now apparently there's not going to be a challenge. Oh my god, you guys, I just don't understand what's going on anymore. But either way, this is pretty much the main meet and greet of the content that's coming to Season 3 for Vanguard's multiplayer. Honestly, it's really underwhelming as a multiplayer fan for Call of Duty because we're not getting a lot of content here at launch. Warzone, of course, is getting some pretty interesting changes, especially lootable perks, which I think is kind of interesting. And of course, King Kong and Godzilla are going to be available in Warzone and not in Vanguard, it seems like, which is a little weird unless, of course, you buy the bundle skins. Either way, that is it for the video. That's all the content I wanted to show you guys and just kind of get it out of the way. I actually like how Sledgehammer Games gives us access to this stuff in a private match prior to the season starting, and I wish they would do this more often, just because for me personally, I have to make these videos ahead of time, and then I'm always like a day late when it comes to uploading this content to YouTube. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're brand new so you can stay up to date for more Call of Duty news and information, and of course other Call of Duty content as well here on the channel. And also don't forget to follow me on Twitter to stay up to date with me outside of YouTube, and I shall catch you guys later.